I strongly believe that only a southern presidency can stop the insecurity in Nigeria or in the north particularly. And the reason is simple. Most northern politicians, both past and present political leaders from the north, see these guys that are carrying out this activity as their people. Some of them see it as fighting for the cause of Islam, and some of them see it as fighting for the cause of the north, and others see it as a political tool, the ones they can use to sway the opinion of voters, intimidate the government in power, and also use it as a tool to erode the confidence of Nigerians against the government in power and make the people to see the government in power as being incompetent and unable to do something. And that is the reason why the likes of Buhari as the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria could not stop the killings and the terrorism that was going on in Katsina State, his state. And it's simple. They are his people. The likes of El Rufai and many other political leaders from the north have at one point or the other spoken in defense of these guys or in support of them, or they have they have been known sympathizers of these guys. And there are people both in the past government and even in the present government that are known to have strong ties with most of these terrorists. And also because most of the northern traditional rulers also see it the same way, the reason and think the same way these politicians think. So they cannot see themselves giving orders to the military to go there and kill people they perceive to be their brothers, their relatives, who are guarding their forests, who are fighting for their interests. And the longer insecurity continues in the North Nigeria, as far as the northern politicians are concerned, the better for them. So the only people that can come in and sincerely fight criminality, insecurity, and terrorism in Nigeria will be a southern presidency. But unfortunately, we have not had any southern president with the balls and the political will to want to do it. Why? Because most of the ones that have come in, for example, when Jonathan took power as the president of Nigeria, he was in a prime position to end insecurity in Nigeria. But because he was playing all his games to place the North, hoping for a second term, hoping for their support to have a second term, he could not go ahead to deal with them. I mean, with the terrorists. But if you recall, in 2015, before the election, when the election was postponed for 6 weeks, when he really decided, probably because he's seen the signs that he may likely not be coming back, then he decided to do something. In 6 weeks, we saw the results that came out. We saw how these guys were dealt with in 6 weeks, and places where these guys were occupying and imposing tax and kind of setting up their own kind of government, we were able to have elections hold in those places. Now, Tinubu would have been someone who would have put kind of written his name in the sign of time by going after these guys and dealing with them. But no, of course, he has someone who what is his name again? Kabiru Sokoto, who orchestrated the Nina bombing, was found in his house, even as a sitting governor. So his hands are tied, and of course, Tinubu is so desperate for power that he can do anything to win the confidence of course, his allies in the north. And that takes me to the next point. The only southern politician that can stop insecurity in Nigeria is one who is not desperate for power. One who does not care about losing allies or friends. One who wants to do the right thing and is not interested whether or not he wins the second term. One who wants to come in there, make his mark, do what he has to do, and if the second term comes, fine. If it doesn't come, he goes away. That's somebody who is ready, sincerely ready for service. And that is why, even when Tinubu went ahead to change some of the service chiefs, I was not bothered. And sincerely, a southern president who will want to fight insecurity in the north will need to have people mostly of the south heading most of these security outfits, like the army, the navy, the air force. He will need southerners marching that. Why? Because right now we all know that these terrorists have infiltrated even the military and even the government. So you have to pick people who will be neutral and want to do the job for what it is. And I trust me, if any of these service chiefs know that the president is behind them and has given marching order and he means what he says, the result will be out in no time. So if you are from the north and you are at the receiving end of this terrorism attack, trust me, a northern presidency is not what you need. You need a southern presidency and a man who will be ready to step on toes, who will be ready to lose friends and allies to do the right thing. Another thing is that most of these guys who are the political leaders who are at the forefront when it comes to political leadership from the north are from a particular tribe, and that's the tribe that is mostly associated with most of these terrorism attacks. While those at the receiving end are from tribes that are nowhere near the corridors of power. So, do you think that the current crops of northern political leaders and politicians will sincerely take over power and want to stop insecurity in the north? No. As a matter of fact, that insecurity favors them. They use it to intimidate the government, and they also use it to make the masses to feel like the government in power is not doing anything. That is what the strategy they used during the Jonathan government, and that's the strategy that is going on even at the moment. So the only presidency that can stop insecurity in Nigeria is a southern presidency. That is my thinking. That is my conviction. I don't know what you think. Share it in the comment section. Thank you for watching.